So Battlefield 6 has done what a lot of people thought was impossible this past weekend, and I'm talking about the peak concurrent player base. Now, we've got some statistics here on the screen for you, okay? And I know this is just Steam, and it's not like a complete representative of like player base across all platforms and all launchers and things like that, but you have to take note of these statistics. You have to take note of these numbers. Battlefield 6 reached a peak player count of 521,000 people this weekend. Now, not only is this higher than the all-time peak for Black Ops 6, the most recent Call of Duty title, but this number that Battlefield 6 has hit this weekend just gone is higher than the all-time Call of Duty peak of 491,670 people that peaked when Warzone 2 launched back in 2022. And I think that's the number to focus on here. And the reason is because Warzone is a free-to-play game, and so was the beta over the weekend just now. You know, no one had to pre-order the game to get in. They just had to get their codes for the early access by watching, but then the beta opened up to absolutely everybody, and you could just jump in with no prior requirements. This is a huge thing to keep in mind, because if you had to pre-order for the beta, the numbers probably would have been a lot lower. But you have to take into consideration as well that that Call of Duty peak for Warzone 2 was because of Warzone 2. It was because the game was free and a lot of people jumped over. And you also have to take note that Call of Duty is free on Game Pass. I know it doesn't affect the Steam numbers here, but you have to take note of these things. Battlefield 6 is absolutely cooking here. These numbers are crazy. And what a lot of people out there don't realize is the comparison between these two is more important than people think. I think there's a lot of players out like me out there that have jumped ship from COD a while ago, and we've just been floating around the shooter genre, floating around the space looking for somewhere to settle, and Battlefield 6 has become that place. Let me clear this up for you. So where I stand as a player, if I go back far enough on my channel, you'll see I used to be a COD player. I used to be into it, all the weapon builds, all that stuff, and I hadn't played Battlefield since the Battlefield 3 or 4 days, I think, hardline, now before you go closing the video down or jumping into the comment section, I'm not just another COD player who wants to make this like COD. I stand with Battlefield on every topic related to the opinions of the Call of Duty streamers like Swag, and I love Battlefield 6 the way it is now. Is there some small improvements? Maybe, but listen, I love this game. It's amazing. I'm going to be maining this game moving forward. I cannot wait for it to drop. And when I hear big COD streamers saying things like the movement needs work, it's not smooth like COD, it makes my goddamn blood boil. Take that crap back to Black Ops 7. If you don't like the movement in Battlefield, tough. There's nothing COD can offer this game, in my opinion. The core game, I mean. There's nothing that Call of Duty can offer this game to improve it for the better, in my opinion. Bar the standalone battle royale that they've leaked, which we can talk about in more detail in a minute. I'm talking about the core game right now. There's nothing that we can bring over from COD that would improve this game. People keep referring to COD movement as smooth. It's not smooth. It's just ridiculous, and it hasn't got enough limits on it. That's the problem with it. People think that's the way that movement should be. It's not. Keep it away from this game. At the moment, I love where this game is at. Now that we've got that out of the way, if you're still watching, really appreciate it. I really want to talk about the Battlefield 6 beta this past weekend now, okay? The short answer is, guys, I loved almost everything. This game is the first shooter I've played since the new generation of consoles dropped that actually feels like a next-gen shooter. The audio is absolutely beautiful. The graphics are top tier. The destruction is the most impressive I've seen since I played Black back in February 2006. And the explosions look like something out of like an IMAX cinema. Like when the explosions happen, it's the best I've ever seen. And we're in an online shooter. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I absolutely love it. All of this combines to make you feel like you're actually in a war fighting for your life, which is a feeling that has escaped us as shooter players for quite some time now, and I didn't realize how much it has escaped us until I played this weekend just gone. Absolutely awesome. The teamwork me and my boys had to use reminded me what teamwork is in a shooter. I've played a lot of battle royales, which require teamwork and they require unison, but there's nothing that I can do that my buddy can't do if I die, and because everyone can just run the same gear and run the same guns, etc. In Battlefield 6, you want a variety in your squad, otherwise you're going to find yourself in tough situations quite often, which brings me on to a hot topic among the community right now, and that's the open weapon system. I spent the weekend playing the open weapon playlist, and honestly, I don't see the issue with it. I've always been a fan of LMGs. Like, no matter what game I play, if I can use an LMG and an LMG is viable, I want to run one. But the role of support class didn't really appeal to me as much as the role of engineer. I did love chucking ammo down for my buddies and you know, being like taking on that role, but the engineer role really just called out to me, and I spent most of the weekend playing as the engineer with an LMG. So I developed this engineer class where I've got an LMG, I've got an RPG, and then I've got an anti-air just in case I have to deal with the planes or the helicopters. And I just focused on taking out vehicles and repairing my vehicles and like driving tanks around, things like that. I sort of found myself becoming like an engineer vehicle specialist, and I love that because like I developed into that. I didn't go into the game as that, but I developed into it by the end of the weekend, and I was just absolutely slaying out. It was absolutely awesome. Personally, I think the devs should make a call, as I think the servers for both could split the player base. But again, looking at it, based on the numbers we've seen for the beta, splitting the player base among a few different servers might just not be a problem. Because if they've got enough players, you're not going to have a problem finding a game, right? So I think they could keep everybody happy there by doing that. Next thing I want to talk about is the way the game moves forward. The key here for me is simple. Please Battlefield 6, please EA, please DICE, hold on to your identity. If you're going to listen to big streamers' feedback, or anyone's feedback for that matter, it needs to be Battlefield players, not COD players like Swag, not clowns like XQC. You need to be listening to the Tactical Brits and the Stone Mountains of the space. These guys have genuine passion for the game when it comes to the core game. They know their stuff, and for God's sake, just go to comment sections and take feedback from Battlefield players there. The passion in this community has shown over Battlefield 6. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I am here for it. Everybody is passionate about this game. They desperately want this game to do well, and they're giving good feedback because of that. EA and DICE just need to make sure they listen to the right people. And yeah, you can't please everyone in regards to like the aspect of like everything, but you can find a balance by listening to people. And I'm begging you, please keep Battlefield 6 on the right track, because if you do, I believe we could be entering like a golden era, not just for Battlefield, but for FPS shooters in general. Now, I want to touch on the Battle Royale before we end the video, because it's a very divisive topic, and I don't think it needs to be as divisive as it is. I think people need to take a step back here and just put the extreme tribalism aside just for a minute. Battlefield 6 having a Battle Royale is good for the game. If you don't like Battle Royales, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to play it. Before I played Battlefield this weekend, I said that if the game hasn't got a Battle Royale, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. I have completely flipped on that. This weekend has completely and 100% changed that opinion. I'm getting this game regardless of whether it's got a Battle Royale or not. I know they've leaked one and they basically confirmed one's coming, but if it wasn't, I would just still be playing Battlefield. And I think this game, because even just that beta, even though we only had the 3 maps, I just was not bored in the slightest. I was not fed up of it in the slightest after playing like 30 hours. Okay, but however, having a Battle Royale could be the difference between Battlefield 6 doing well, being back and surviving comfortably, and absolutely dominating the space for God knows how long. It'll bring millions of new players in, not just from COD, but from like awesome communities like PUBG, from places like Apex Legends, and a variety of other shooters. And they might not stick around, but they also might. And if EA and DICE can nail the balance here, it's a very exciting time for the genre, very exciting time for first-person shooters. If you've stuck around for the whole video here, guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike. And let me know your thoughts on everything we've talked about here in the comments today. Links to my live streams and my Discord in the description. This is Big Cheese, signing off.